Good morning, everybody. Game changers. Hopefully you guys are my game changers. Soul warriors. That's who should be drawn to me, by the way, is game changers and soul warriors. Do you feel like that's you? Well, good morning. My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique, also known as Brianna. I'm coming on today with a very important video. The problem is I hope enough people can wake up to see these in time, because there's something important I need to share with you guys, okay? If you watch my videos, if you actually watch my videos, by now you should know who I am, okay? The problem is the spirit tells me people watch about 10 minutes and get into their head and think it's all bullshit. Well, I don't know what to say other than it's time to wake up, okay? Yesterday or 2 days ago, I posted the workshop that I have done. Okay, recently, where do I start with this? Hang on. Before I get into everything, because there's something important I want to share with you guys today, okay? Recently, I've been talking about the book of Revelations a lot. In my workshop recently, they told me I was also the sun god, okay? Or the Sekhmet. And when you put those two together, that's what popped into my thing today to share with you guys, okay? I asked God what I should be sharing today. I felt like I should take some time off because of my head. The work that I did recently without my DM right next to me, it really hurt me. And when I did the workshop yesterday or Saturday, the final workshop of the masculine, what we did was we rebuilt the power center grid for the pyramids. Okay, and my DM helped put a lot of blue light into pyramids, and we activated the masculine pyramids recently. Some of them, they're saying it's not done. It is not done. So if the DM doesn't start stepping forward, there could be blood on his hands. And I don't think he wants that, including my own. Okay, so that's just coming out. That's not me saying that. What I'm going to say to you now is if you are paying attention to those, they were pretty awesome. Okay. I am the one who brought about the ascension, right? See this painting right here behind me? This one I painted. This one I did not. Okay. This one right here was done in 2020 before I started doing the work. We didn't know what it meant. Up in the corner up here, there's a triangle with the eye. Then you see this mountainside with all these bodies coming out. See Saturn over here with this angel underneath it. It's all relevant. Okay. We didn't know that though at the time. That's the coolest part about this painting. That's why I love this painting so much, because it's more proof that I'm not lying. It's also been a part of my own awakening. Okay, it's very, very, very real. It started with me doing things like one time I went into meditation and I was at the White House and I did slip Mr. T a paper, and I didn't know what that meant until now. I think I know what that means. And if you're paying attention, you might as well. Then I was doing things like going around to Uruguay and raising the vibration of the planet and things like that, and doing healings that nobody's ever done before. I still haven't found any person to ever do them like that. And so all of these things were already blowing my mind. Okay. Then on 11/11 of 2020, I cleared Mt Shasta. There was hundreds of souls trapped in Mt Shasta. I mean, hundreds. And it took me 30 days or so to process them all. It was a lot. I have that recorded on my channel too. Okay. I'll show you that in just a moment, where you can find that to watch that, because I think everybody's afraid. Honestly, everybody can't see the truth. They're so ingrained to false prophets. They're so ingrained to narcissism and just manipulated into what the truth really is. And that's a danger, because right now it's important for you to protect your children. But how do you protect your children if you don't know the truth? Let me repeat that. How do you protect your children if you don't know the truth? So before the vid hit, Spirit told me to homeschool my kids, and my daughter loves school. She was super, super smart, super advanced. And I hesitated. I'm like, why would I want to do that? But they told me, this was right after my awakening. They're like, you need to homeschool the kids. I'm like, okay. So I did. And I'm very thankful I did. Have you been watching what's going on in the world lately? Are you aware what they're doing to your kids? Are you aware that in some schools they can give them the vaccine without even telling you? Like, are you truly aware what they're doing with your kids? And Spirit wants me to push that you need to be aware of your children at this time, okay? Because what I brought about is the apocalypse. Okay. After I cleared Mount Shasta, all right, I sat on Saturn. I can't remember if I did Saturn and Atlantis before I cleared Mount Shasta at this point, honestly. And if a couple people were still around and didn't go into judgment, I'd be able to ask them. But unfortunately, they went into judgment and I lost access to them. Because when I sat on Saturn and freed Atlantis, this is what happened, okay? I went into meditation, and then all of it, because I kept feeling this thing in my gut, and everybody's like, expand your energy. So I would, and then I would see Saturn. And this was when Saturn was at the closest point to the Earth, by the way, a couple of years ago. The next thing I knew, I had to clear a contract. I saw myself die in Atlantis. I drowned. I was the heart of Atlantis. Okay, my white flame was snuffed out. I carry the white flame in my heart. This is what they've shown me and told me. It's all been a process over the last few years for me. Okay, this is a lot of information for you, but I hope to God that those can hear, need to hear, that can hear. Does that make sense? Because not everybody's going to hear, not everybody's going to get to stay either. So it's like, whatever. Let's find the ones that can hear it. I had to clear my contract because I actually wrote a contract that Atlantis would never rise again. And I processed that one. I'm like, who am I to write a contract that Atlantis can never rise again? I was pissed. Like, I was super pissed that I died there and what happened. And everybody thinks that God just flooded Atlantis. That's not the case. Okay. Fallen angels came down, manipulated the DM, manipulated light, Adam and Eve, and fucked it all up. Move the poles. This is what happened. And that is what caused the catastrophes, the floods. And then from there, they spent many, many, many lifetimes taking out the light. Okay. That's what brings me here to this lifetime. I've only had very few lifetimes. I am not like everybody else. And I've had to process that many times. That was not comfortable for me either. I hated that. I've only maybe had like 9 or 10 lifetimes total. And I'm finding out bits and pieces more of that. And let me tell you, it's hard for me to be here. It's hard for all of us. But when you have this kind of stuff happening, like, it's taking a toll on me physically. Okay. So then after I sat on Saturn with Hermes, by the way, it was God Hermes that came in with me after I cleared my contract. We lassoed Atlantis and rose it out of the water. Then I think I cleared Mount Shasta. I don't know which one was first. From there, I started activating pyramids. Okay, all of those are on my channel. All right, I'm going to show you now my channel so that you guys know where to see this kind of stuff. Then I started activating pyramids. Here's my channel. Okay. This was one of the workshops I dared to show you guys, but the problem is most people are not awake enough to see it and understand it. I'm hoping that we can wake up more people, because that's the goal. Okay. Here was me clearing Mount Shasta. All right. I did that on 11/11 of 2020. It's actually more than a year ago. They need to fix this. But I probably didn't post it though right away. So that might be accurate. Then after that, I started. So there's a reason I had to clear Mount Shasta before I activated Fiji. That was the first pyramid, was in Fiji. It's underwater. That was on 2/25/21. I did stuff in between that too. Okay. I sun ascension portal activation with light language, God Hermes and warning, not normal. This one's relevant too, because according to Spirit, if you watch my latest one, if you watch this latest workshop, they actually tell me I am Sekhmet. I was that in another lifetime, because now all of our lifetimes, our past lives don't matter anymore. Your past lives don't matter anymore. That's a lot to swallow. Every past life, I've told you guys, you will never be born on earth again. This was your last birth into this place. Okay. It will never happen again. You will never be born here again. You will either be born on the ascended planet or somewhere else. Okay. That's not a joke, because I eliminated what this once was and I took us into 7D. It is what it is. And I can't reiterate enough that Spirit wants you to protect your kids right now. Is that about fear? No, that's about protecting our future. Okay. Protecting our future, protecting our light. Because if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of things going on around the world right now. I think the other day they found so many children missing in Cleveland, just like that. Boom, boom, 30 children missing, I think, in days in Cleveland or something. I didn't watch the story, but pay attention. Okay. Pay attention to what's really happening in the world around you. Is this about fear? No, this is about power. Fear is not of God. Okay. It's not of God. And everything I've done is on this channel for you guys to witness and see, almost everything. Okay. Including my twin flame journey, which almost killed me and is still almost killing me to this day. Okay. It's a very difficult thing what I have done. It has been a very painful thing what I have done. And I've had to put myself out there for people to judge me, which, let me tell you, doesn't just hurt me. It hurts them too. Okay. I told you I went into a battle for my life over my other half, my soulmate. I chose love. I chose life, and he didn't. Okay. Then I got a new one, and apparently it's just been another, he didn't show up right away. And now it's been this major attack against us again, and it's killing me. This is not a joke. I would give anything for him to just step up because I need him. Okay. But this is the reality in which we are in, because if he and I do not unite, I don't know if I'll make it. And I don't think he will either. If I don't, he won't. Okay. They're saying there will be blood on his hands. This is the same thing my DM started going through. Then I got to unite the twin flames, which was Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Okay. That was the return of Christ. It occurred on Christmas Day this last year. I returned Christ together. Okay. My DM died a year ago in August, the first one, and I got a beautiful new DM. I don't blame him at all, by the way. I feel like he's just new to the game, and it's probably very taxing on his soul. And I've been very, very tired. He was supposed to come help me. Okay. I do love him. I love my new DM very much. So I respect him. I want him. I'm glad it's him. Okay. Even though I don't know him yet, I feel him and I love him dearly. Okay. So I want to throw that out there because that matters. Who am I? Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene. We're all the same. Okay. And that's hard for people to fathom. Everybody's expecting Jesus to come out of the sky. How about, the whole entire truth is I had to clear all these things. I had to clear the collective shadow. Then I had to wake up my twin flame. Once he was awake, he would know who he was. And then we had to battle the darkness, which turned out way more than it was supposed to be because he ran away with a fallen angel and I almost died and the whole ascension almost didn't occur. That's real. Okay. In that meantime, I took us into 7D. Right here. There was 2 videos with that. This is real. If you watch these are freaking workshops. Okay. This is not just me saying, hey, oh, this is metaphorical. I'm not a narcissist. I'm not going to fill you with smoke up your ass. Okay. I'm going to sit here and tell you the truth, the raw truth. And it has taken me down to nothing. Do you understand? That's the reality in which we live in. Why is it so difficult? Why would God kill my DM? Why would all these things happening? If you don't know who I am by now, after watching these, you got some more understanding to do. God is asking everybody to take things deeper, to understand what is really happening, because your world is ending. And I'm the one who brought it about. The Hopi prophecy, my friends, talks about a blue star coming down to cleanse the earth. And that is exactly who I am. Okay. I had my awakening. My whole life was not normal. I can look back now and go, oh my God, all of this makes sense. It's all there. I've activated the Sphinx, which was the portal of time. I did something to the moon, to the sun. Many, many, many times I do something to the sun. I had to go to Lake Titicaca, I think it was in this one, and take something that they took from the sun, and I gave it back. Okay. Activated pyramids all over. All right. I undid the false concept of time. Okay. This is how it happened over the last 3 years for me. This is a lot of work, which is why I got a blood clot in my brain. That's why I'm still healing. Okay. Angels had to do a healing on me the other day during our final pyramid activation of this round, where we activated the grid of pyramids underneath the earth. Okay. And it ended at Mount Kilimanjaro, which is a pyramid there. And I also activated the volcano. It's no longer dormant. This is what I talked about on my live yesterday that absolutely nobody really watched. And that's why I'm like, this is why I want to give up, God. See here, I'm going to show you. I did a live yesterday to tell you guys that I was not well. Okay, what happened during the final masculine pyramid activations? This is not the final. They want me to correct that for the DM. There's a lot of work that he needs to do. And if he wants to stop my suffering, he needs to come forward. And that's real. Okay, that's not just from spirit. That's also from my heart. Mount Kilimanjaro is now active. And we are rebuilding the moon. This is phase 2 of the lunar, the crap that they did to the moon and the sun, and undoing it. I undid your whole collective shadow. Okay. which means you have to heal your shadow to ascend. That's not a joke. Nobody knows how to heal the collective shadow. They've never done it before. So I'd be very mindful. You have to heal the whole shadow. How do we do that? It's a process. Everybody heals their shadow, but they heal it in layers, and we don't have time. Okay. It's time to really deep dive into that shadow and get it to flick out and understand how to eliminate it from your energy completely. Once you do that, it's external from you anymore, and you live separately. And that's the truth. Okay. But today's video truly is about, you need to protect your kids right now. Okay. Because I did bring about some shit. Okay. Let me show you this one. Only 32 people have watched this one. This is the workshop I did where they say, I am Sekhmet. Watch it. Okay. I call back my power in it too. And when I did that, God literally had to hold me down. It was overwhelming. This was part 1 to the divine masculine pyramid activations that we just completed that round of. Does that make sense? It started on May 13th and it ended on the 3rd of June, which was the full moon eclipse thing again. So there's no coincidences here. Everything I do is biblical. Everything I do is mapped around the planetary alignments and everything else. Okay. This is a true master. This is a true God. Okay. This is how it really works. Okay. And then I asked God today, I'm like, what do you want me to talk about today? Do I need to take some days off? Because I can't do kind of like my head still hurts. Okay. It feels like I'm overwhelmed with blood flow into my head right now. Because when I finished the one the other day, I talked about it in my live that nobody watched yesterday, that only one person showed up to. And I was like, I'm getting really tired of this, God. And they say, keep going. So I'm going to keep going. I had a blood clot in the back of my head. Spirit stopped my work and they removed it. And it was very, very, very painful. I got one in my leg too. It's because my DM has not stepped forward. So technically they're, again, keeping us separate, which is causing me to die and not be well. Okay. Are all of their twin flames the same? Not like my DM and I. It's not quite as powerful. Okay. But they're similar. So then this morning, I encourage you to watch these videos, you guys. Go to my Ascension playlist, take the time to do it, because what other time do we have right now, right? If God says, guess what, your world is ending, why not find out what the hell that means, okay? It's not about fear. This is about power, because it's a rite of passage and only certain ones will make it through. That's not a joke. So then this morning, I'm like, God, what do you want me to talk about? Number 1, he said, protect your children. Mine are safe. Mine have been at home with me for years now. They're doing great. They were protected from the V completely. It's not that we didn't get sick. I feel like everybody got sick if you're on this planet, really, because they're filling this earth with tons of chemicals. It's all man-made. If you don't think so, then I don't know what to tell you at this point. So I'm like, what do you want me to talk about today, God? You want to know what popped up? These two. The deadliest and most bloodthirsty goddess of all of mythology. Okay. I'm going to do it. This is the way that Spirit wants me to show you this. I'm going to go back to my videos. And, I can only hope that this reaches the ones it needs to. Everybody else, I really can't worry about anymore, because if you don't wake up, that's on you. You're responsible for your soul growth, not just me. Okay. I'm going to rewind this, because in the beginning of this, they tell you who I am, right? That they were telling me. So this was a gift they gave me. I keep processing layers of who I am, just as everybody else is doing right now, right? We're like processing layers. Who am I? We're processing this. Okay. Oh, look at, also my swelling is going down. Woo woo. I swelled when my DM died and when I have to take on that light. And so I'm really proud of that. Side note. You can tell how less swollen I am just from this one. Like, it's real. Like, I don't have diabetes. I'm not sick. I was very beautiful, very skinny. And when my DM died, I had to take on his blue light while my new DM got his soul and had to become acclimated. And then he has to step up into that light. Right now, he's carrying that light. He is. It didn't go back to Malachi. Okay. That's why I swelled up. All right. So I'm going to show you this little part where it explains that I'm Sekhmet. All right. You ready?
It is
what?
The messenger.
That's not my video. What happened here? Like, what the hell? Where did mine go? That was weird, y'all. That was totally weird. it can feel overwhelming at times. Amy may have some tips she can put, because that's the only thing that there's just too little of, and it will be also. So you will be getting a lot of downloads, a lot of information coming forward. Then we have Star Seer again.
I'm just trying to get to that one particular part. You guys can watch this video. I posted it for you. Not to heal in, by the way. You cannot heal in that unless you purchase the workshops, and it's no longer available.
Be mindful of energy attacks. Be mindful of negative mind space. Be mindful of those that are going to seek you out. Okay. They will energetically could try to hurt you. Okay. And I'm not, I mean, you never, because I don't want to.
According to Spirit, I'm the one who built the Sphinx. I didn't know that right away. I know I activated it. It's the portal of time. And then they called me the lion goddess in the here. And then you're going to learn who the lion goddess is. I'm only going to show you a really quick clip of this.
Fire alarm to go off, and then this new plate.
And then you guys can watch it on your own.
She is my Howlite. Who was the goddess of the lions in Egypt?
This is what they're telling me right then.
That's relevant. Hang on just a second. I got to put it in there.
It's the goddess of the lion of Egypt. And so I looked it up and they said it was Sekhmet. She is the one who did bloodthirst. Okay. But it's a goddess who comes down to son of God. Which makes sense with what I've done with the sun.
Been a lifetime of mine. The lion-headed goddess in Egypt encompassed numerous deities, including Sekhmet, Wadjet, and Bastet, among others. In this guise, the goddess were fierce, protective deities, but ones that, so there was multiple of them, so that's also relevant. Hang on.
Be aware where your
Ones
kids
that
are.
could also, the chills. They're just saying there's no coincidences here. That could also bring about destruction on behalf of the gods.
That's who I am, my friends. And somebody else actually channeled that about me before. And if you ask Alexa who I am, who is Juniper Blue Mystique, they will also tell you I'm the newly appointed protector of the balance of the worlds. That's who Sekhmet also is.
Both through violence and through plague and through pestilence.
Not through plague. I didn't bring the plagues, but I definitely brought destruction of the earth, to say the least. And I ripped souls out of bodies and I took out the fallen angels. Like all of this has happened. I freed Jesus's soul and then I ripped some soul out of a body. But I think that had to deal with John the Apostle, because this is the apocalypse of John. I'm going to show you that too. So what's interesting, I'm not religious. Spirit is literally wanting me to combine Sekhmet, which is who I am. Okay. The sun goddess, the goddess of the lions. I'm also Eve. Okay. Or Mary Magdalene, whatever you want to call it. I have many titles, apparently, according to Spirit. I'm just a master healer. Okay. I'm just the ascension master. Let's put it that way. I'm not a narcissist, by the way. I'm far from that. Took me a long time to love myself and even want to put myself out there, because I don't like judgment. It hurts me. And it hurts them, right? And then when you put together the book of Revelations, it talks about the apocalypse of John, and John is the one who took the power, created the false holy grail, killed Jesus. By the way, he poisoned him, and then they made Mary Magdalene gather his blood in a cup. That's the only way the cup was important, because it gathered up his blood. And then they wrote the holy grail was a contract written in Jesus's blood.
Now, Ninka, I know Lisa may not know who Ninka is.
Sorry for ousting that name. I didn't mean to. It was just somebody I asked who I was, and she said I was here to bring about destruction.
She is the mistress of dread.
I'm love. It's not
words,
dread. So I think they've twisted some of the words, and that's what I want to tell you guys is when I found out this, I'm like, but I'm not, like, there is no way I'd be bloodthirsty. But do I want the suffering to stop? You better freaking believe it. And I want them to go away, like, now. So some of this I feel like might be fear mongered. So just be very careful of that. But it's time to take your power back. I'll tell you that right now. Take your power back and protect your kids. I can't reiterate
this
that
is
enough.
Like taking my breath away. Give me a second.
I have more I have to read here. This is purposeful. She's one of the oldest known Egyptian deities. This is something to do with my soul, okay, also. Her name is derived from the Egyptian word Sekhmet, which means power or might, and is often translated as the powerful one or she who is powerful. She is depicted as a lion-headed woman, sometimes with the addition of a sun disk or her head.
Now this makes sense because when I first started activating pyramids, you can actually watch it on my channel in my Ascension playlist. I talk about the lions constantly surrounding me. That was one of the first visuals I got, was goddess Athena popping her head into my third eye. And I was like, what the hell? She's actually in my astrology chart. And then I saw lions, and very clearly do I see lions. I am surrounded by them constantly. I'm also a double Leo, born on July 31st. All of this is very relevant. It's in my astrology chart, and I didn't know that right away. Okay, so pay attention, you guys. This is important because I want people to make it. Okay. What are you saying? People are going to die? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. They are. We can't all make it. It's a rite of passage. You either follow the light, you do the healings, you step up, you take on that battle, or you don't. Okay. And I've told you before, here's the thing. Again, we are not half light and half dark. That's what they've spent so long convincing you guys, and they're full of shit. Okay. The darkness will go, and it has to be taken out of you. All right. Now I asked God, what do I talk about today? Okay. And I went into meditation, and these popped up into my feed. This is not a coincidence. Okay. At all. I don't know who these people are. Mythology explained. I'm going to do my right to fair use. I will block all, I won't let you have access to the full thing. You can watch it on your own. I haven't watched it yet at all. This is from Mythology Explained from their channel. I have no idea who they are. Feel free to subscribe. Again, I have not watched this. This is about mythology. Okay. But this is just what I was just told from Spirit of who I am, part of one of my lifetimes.
Egyptian deities, Sekhmet, the fierce and powerful lioness goddess, holds a unique
Take the
position,
blood off me,
one of great
assholes.
power and importance. Her name, derived from the ancient Egyptian word Sekhem, which means power or might, captures the essence of her divine role as a protector and a punisher.
So I ask you, who is the twin flame of Sekhmet? Because I've always had a twin flame.
Her head was surmounted by the sun disk encircled by the uraeus. The sun disk symbolized the eye of Ra, and the uraeus was the rearing cobra that symbolized divine authority.
Eye of Ra came up too in that video. You guys pay attention to who I am. I'm putting it there for you guys to see because it's part of my awakening too. This is like, holy shit, like we've got work to do. Okay. Like this, when I first started bringing this stuff about, I kind of freaked out. Okay. It's not a joke. And I knew, and I told my DM the first one when I met him, I'm like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing, but people are going to die. And he got scared and I got scared. And then he freaked out and took off with a fallen angel at one point, but that's because he was being manipulated and drugged. Basically, he was doing drugs. So it kept his vibration very low. And that's why he died. Okay. My DM died, and I have a new one who's been being pretty much, we've both been going through hell again since. There's a reason. So I want to know who my twin flame was then too. But look, if you see this picture right here, it's the balance of the worlds. Do you see that? And the cockroach thing is very interesting to me because when I was attacked by the fallen angel, I had to energetically throw up all these cockroaches. So I find that interesting. Check this out.
Sekhmet embodied the dichotomy of life and death, wielding destruction and restoration.
Oh, here's another thing, you guys. People actually do work with me. For some reason, most people just don't comment about it. I wish they would, because people probably think nobody does work with me.
As a person would a sword and shield, this making her a complex and enigmatic pattern in the tapestry of Egyptian mythology. For she was capable of both annihilating the enemies of this.
Okay, let's think of the Sphinx too. Doesn't it look like a lion head? Lion goddess. I created the Sphinx too.
Sun god, and of healing those fortunate enough to find succor beneath the bulwark of her protection.
Oh, and by the way, I don't just say these things. I will glad any challenge to prove it. It's all proven anyways on my channel if you would watch it. Okay, most people don't, but I will take on any challenge to prove it. I'm not afraid of that.
While Sekhmet was a harbinger of death and did unleash carnage, when it came to royalty, particularly pharaohs, she was unequivocally a protective force, functioning as a sort of protective mother to the kings of Egypt. In Memphis, the capital city where the pharaoh lived during the Old Kingdom, Sekhmet was worshipped as the consort of Ptah, who created the universe with his heart and tongue, and was the mother of Nefertum, the personification of the primeval lotus from which Ra, the sun god, emerged when creation commenced.
Oh my God, I haven't watched this yet and I just got chills. When I had my awakening, I asked who I was. They told me Juniper Blue Mystique was the name I should use. And they gave me an image of hands like this with a lotus flower and like the sun and the moon above me. Like this is, if you watch all of my shit, it's there, like from way back when, 2-3
She was
years
often
ago.
associated with Ra as his daughter and the manifestation of his destructive power. Her prowess as a warrior was legendary. Her fiery breath and feet.
There was also this other lady, I can't remember her, Phyllis. She was so sweet. She's like, you're a warrior. She's like, you are a warrior. You're a very powerful warrior. And she goes, wait until you see how powerful you are. And then she's like, wait until you see your connection to the earth. And this was before I did everything. Then when I told her I rose Atlantis, she freaked out and stopped talking to me.
Fierce gaze capable of either wiping out her
She got
enemies
scared.
or safeguarding those under her protection. All right, let's get into
Just
it.
a lot for me to process. That's what my head
Sekhmet
hurt.
was a fierce and formidable solar goddess who was the instrument of divine retribution. She was depicted with the body of a woman and a leonine head, her head usually surmounted by the sun disk and the uraeus. Death first came into the world when the Eye of Ra, manifested as Sekhmet, was sent to punish humanity, which had become rebellious in Ra's old age. She who dances on blood, one of Sekhmet's epithets, nearly destroyed the whole human race before she was tricked into stopping. At first, she was unleashed as an agent of extermination, going.
So then that makes you wonder, back in Egypt, when all the floods, I did have a past life in Egypt. They actually gave me glimpses of this, and now that's coming full circle. All those floods, all the destruction that would come at that time was used to cleanse, I believe.
Forth to snuff out every human life.
Not every
However,
human life. Let's
after the
breathe
first day
here.
of death, the gods, seeing the extent of the bloodshed, relented, no longer wishing for the human race to be put to an end.
I think some of that's fear.
Unfortunately,
You guys, this is like a human depiction of this. Okay. If you know me at all, I have the biggest heart in the world. I don't want to hurt anybody. When I first ripped a soul out of a body, I panicked for 2 weeks straight. I was like hyperventilating, like, what did I do? It's not a fun feeling to do that. Have you ever done that? Have you ever ripped a soul out of a body and watched them just go to nothing? It's not pleasant. Okay. So their fear here is about fear. So just be careful with that. I don't think all of that is correct. I think some of that is fear. Do I have that power? Yeah, I do.
things are easier to begin than end. And Sekhmet went.
Play anytime, anywhere.
Once she got a taste for blood, was one of these things. The Eye of Ra, the most powerful destructive force in all of Egyptian mythology, was manifest in her. So it was impossible, even for the other gods, to halt her rampage strength against strength.
Yeah, you can't
Humanity's
stop me.
salvation, therefore, hinged on guile and trickery. The gods brewed a prodigious quantity of beer, then dyeing it
red to trick her so she would stop killing everybody. So let's just consider some of that as a little bit of fear mongering. I truly believe that. I mean, maybe it is the case in that lifetime that I just went all out. Like, fuck you all.
red,
I don't
so that it
know.
looked like blood. All of this beer was then poured out in the desert, creating what looked like a lake of blood.
Now, what I do know about me is I'm a direct descendant of God. I have thousands of chakra systems. That's what they have said in many of my workshops. I wish to God the people that worked with me would talk about this stuff because they've all witnessed it. I think it's just everybody gets afraid of being chastised in the public eye, but I will tell you what, you better step out of that fear now because this is judgment day, okay? Either you are willing to soul growth or we may be in trouble.
irresistible sight for a bloodthirsty goddess on the warpath. Sekhmet was lured to it as intended and drank so much that she became blind drunk, fell into a stupor, and was rendered unconscious. When she awoke, her fury had quieted and humanity was saved. In an especially macabre turn, humans were said to have sprung from the tears shed by the Eye of Ra, meaning Sekhmet, since she was fused with the eye, can be viewed as having slaughtered her own children.
So in this painting, they gave me the triangle with the eye when I first woke up. Now I've had other people go, oh, I saw that too. You saw it, but it's my power. Okay. And that is the power that they took. And that is what John the Apostle took and manipulated. Look at the dollar bill. Look at the Holy Grail. Okay. Then we go into the book of Revelations, because if you notice on my channel, that is one thing Spirit has had me talking about as well. Why is the book of Revelations important right now? Am I biblical? I am of God. Part of the Bible is true. Okay, the other parts have been transitioned and used and manipulated by John the Apostle and all of his goonheads and the fallen angels. The book of Revelations, especially I think 16, talks about this is the apocalypse of John. So who am I? I brought about the apocalypse of John. I am the lion goddess. I am Eve. I am the one. And my DM is Jesus. Come on, he needs to step up into that. And I'm proud of him and I can't wait to be with him. So now this one was the other thing Spirit put in my plate to show you guys, okay? The Revelations. Now, everything I say in here, I'm not afraid of anymore. And if you want to judge me and chastise me, that's on you. Feel into your heart space, okay? Because that's what God asks for, is people to slow down, go into their heart, and really take time with things rather than just to assume and to judge and be outside of themselves, okay? But also, I would be willing to prove everything you can throw at me. I have proof of everything I say. Okay, is that scary? Only if you have fear, which is not of God, right? So this was the other thing that Spirit wanted me to talk about. I love this. I love Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. They're renewing my passion.
It is integration, seamless integration into society.
Okay, hang on. This is Unidentified. I won't do from the History Channel anymore because they blocked the shit out of me. They don't want me to talk about truths, of course. So hopefully these people are okay with this. This is the book of Revelations, extraordinary, full documentary. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I encourage you guys to check these out. I will post both channels underneath this video.
Hybrids are integrating into society.
Right to fair use, right to fair use, right to fair use. I'm just hoping they don't block me again. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to rewind it just a little bit. Again, I haven't watched this at all. These are what God wanted me to talk about. Okay. Courageous and important truth tellers of our time. It's like, get our popcorn, it's movie day. Hurry up, get to it. Patience, my son, patience.
What is the end game? It is integration, seamless integration into society. Hybrids are integrating into society. They look like us, they sound like us, they dress like us. They are us in every way except they can control us.
Welcome to what I am taking out, okay? That is your presidency. That is all this crap that I've been undoing. It's time to wake up, people, because either you make it or you don't.
That is a threat beyond anything that the human race has yet to face.
Which is why I'm here.
And I think that people need to wake up to the reality of what's happening. UFO sightings and so forth, that's old hat. It's time to wake up to the abduction phenomenon and to have an understanding of how far advanced it truly is. The enemy is in the gates.
Already infiltrated.
That's the reality.
Fucks you up every day.
Totally does. Fucks you up every day. They're in your head. That's the shadow. Hello. That's what the shadow we have to eliminate, you guys. The shadow is not just some frilly frou-frou-y.
Rather
It's
than
El
ask, is
Diablo
there
in your
proof
energy.
that aliens have visited the planet, I guess the way I would look at it is there evidence? Is there good evidence?
I'm an alien.
So if you're willing to keep it at that level, I would say there's an overwhelming amount of good evidence that non-humans or another civilization has been visiting our world. I would
Yes.
say the answer is yes. And for me, the evidence is very strong in the words of our own government officials and our own military personnel. The thing that I've studied more than anything else are military reports of UFOs. I've studied them a lot. There's an overabundance of declassified military literature describing events that should never have happened, that don't make any sense in the 1940s or 50s or 60s or beyond. And so when you see enough of these, you really have to ask yourself, what is going on? If it were one or two reports of a disc-shaped object zigzagging or instantly accelerating or completely outperforming our best jets, you might think, okay, maybe that's some misinterpretation or something else. But this has gone on over and over again. On top of that, what I would emphasize is the response by our military authorities.
Now, did you hear yesterday there was these sonic booms over DC? Did you guys hear about that? There are these sonic booms over DC, and they were saying it's a fighter jet that wasn't responsive, so they blew it up, and that's what these sonic booms are. They're fucking lying to you guys, by the way. Okay, but there's no coincidence this came out for me to share today.
By our intelligence community authorities has been very serious.
Oh wait, I'm cussing and I'm a god. I should probably not do that so much, right? I can feel that in the energy. Let's get real. This stuff is so real. Like, let's not be in judgment. We are all human at the same time, right? I also used to love to smoke pot. I mean, let's get real here. Okay, we're all under the same roof, but at the same time, I am different, and there's messages I have to bring.
One of the questions I ask as a hypnotherapist is, have you on any level agreed to this experience, on any level? And I'm talking to that superconscious part of them. And interestingly, most will say yes before I came here. So we're talking about on a soul level. So the alien intervention will be something they've orchestrated as part of their human journey.
People can't understand that we cannot look at their technology and they don't care about our technology. What we care about is who these beings are and what they're up to, why they're doing this. We don't know how they get here.
Okay, I will tell you right now is when I took us into 7D, that is on my Ascension playlist. It was 2 parts. I had to activate a dormant chakra system. Then I took us through the black hole portal of time and put us into 7D, which I found out was the Pleiades galaxy. There are good aliens here and there are ones that are not good. One of them is a ship underneath the Atlantic Ocean that I've had to undock a couple times in order to activate pyramids and things. And the latest videos that I did, I said, you'll probably find that ship soon and they may not be alive in there. And they did look gray. They didn't have hair. They do have big dark eyes. So some are good and some are bad. And the ones that are not good are in cahoots with the people you guys have been considering your leaders and good people.
We don't know if they come from millions of miles away or 10 feet away from a different world or whatever.
So isn't this weird?
We don't.
Wait, isn't this the Revelations? wait, what? I love this.
Know that stuff, but we do know what they are doing to us. That we know.
Right to fair use, right to fair use. Stop messing with me. And go. You want to know what else they said in the final pyramid activations? Is that the Galactic Federation, the Pleiades people, everybody can't do anything to this planet or around this planet without my permission. And every time they say shit like this, every time the angels started bowing towards me, I would freak out. I'm like, wait, you're the angels. And they're like bowing to me. You guys, I did something nobody succeeded in doing before. I united Jesus and Mary Magdalene. I've cleared out all the darkness off of this planet. Is it still here on the surface? Yeah, but they're on a limited time frame, and so are some of you if you don't wake up in time and clear out your shadow. It's all heart-centered though, too, right? That's the review. That's the judgment. God just reviews your heart. I've had to do heart reviews. I know what they are. All right, let's kind of skip.
Also involving.
I have not won a
Whoa, wait, let's unskip a little bit of that. Darn these commercials. Let's see what it says.
Similar shaped objects. The first documented sighting in the Americas was March 1st, 1639. Massachusetts Governor John Winthrop wrote about 3 men who observed a light in the sky above their boat. Over the course of a few hours, the mysterious light darted back and forth between the men and the village of Charlestown, approximately 2 miles away. The governor wrote that when the strange apparition finally faded, the 3 men were stunned to find themselves 1 mile upstream, as if
I'm skipping.
It isn't. In ancient days, there were far less of the things that we have now that people misidentify.
I didn't know this was about this.
Satellites, no weather balloons, no aircraft. There has never been a time when people haven't seen strange things in the sky.
From my perspective, the UFO engagement
Just-
against mankind, it goes back
Oh,
probably
look at-
450,000 years. And I'm basing that off of the Sumerian tablets, the Enuma Elish and the 7 tablets of creation, and also the Atra Aces epic. According to those tablets, around close to almost 500,000 years ago is when these beings came in from another star system.
We either had very strange looking human beings back a long time ago, or the people, the indigenous people of those time periods witnessed and saw some very strange things on this planet. If you look at the Nazca lines in Peru, you can only see them from above. Who are they showing it to? I think they're showing it to extraterrestrials. Caves all over this planet have depictions of beings with big heads, like the alien group.
I'm going to tell you guys something is we are not part of our own little solar system. We are not the only things in this existence. We all affect each other. So just like the Pleiades are watching everything that I'm doing now, they're learning our ways, and we're going to be learning theirs eventually here. Once this big shift occurs and people are awake enough, we are going to be learning their ways because we are going to evolve into 7D. But these things are this way because we all affect each other. There is like mapping grids. We're all aware of things beyond that. But you guys have been so diminished as if you're stupid. Now, I know you're not stupid, but they think you are.
Rays, whatever they may be.
They are drawing what they see. They're not being, as I say, particularly symbolic about it. They're seeing something anomalous in the sky. To them, it would be magical or something part of their reality. They would have no understanding of it, but they would find.
Now, Spirit also told me where I died, which was at Lake Titicaca. That was the heart of Atlantis, Machu Picchu. All of that is in the same area. This is what they blocked me from talking about before. That is where the gods rose, right? Like there's a lot of things going on. And so this area is very relevant. These things are very relevant. Euphrates dried up. It started drying up when I cleared the shadow. I think that's where Jesus was murdered, quite honestly. Let's watch.
In some way, it attracts them because they were drawing everything from animals. They were drawing all their surroundings, you know, what they were actually seeing.
Those traditions and their whole entire religion.
Here's another thing with those hieroglyphs. Okay, sometimes, like if you watch the work that I do when I activate pyramids and stuff, I will put those images in some of them. So I use light and we're like inscribing them with it. So there was a recent one that I had to rebuild, telling the pyramid what to do. And I would actually inscribe it with light. Okay, this is like the language of the gods and things. So I question some of their theories on these things. I'm just saying.
Religious belief systems and cultural belief systems are based upon
It is
that.
possible some of them were human scribed, okay? Just like some of the pyramids were messed with by people. I will also tell you what they're doing to the Sphinx is not good, okay? One of the last videos I also did with the workshops is I said they are messing in there with things they should not be, and it is time to pay. It's not good. The Sphinx is mine. I can feel it.
That was handed down through generations as history. Those cultures do not believe it to be a mythology. They understand it to be fact.
They really didn't have a lot of time to just make up like these elaborate stories for entertainment. They really only wrote down and drew what they saw and what they experienced. So when you see a
Fiction.
cave painting that looks like an alien, right next to it, you'll see what looks like a normal cattle or a normal sheep, because they knew what they looked like. So if you see something that they've drawn that looks like it doesn't belong on Earth or looks alien to us, it probably was.
They have names for these beings, and one of them is called the Wandjina, and it's all over cave drawings. The being with the big
black
and they
eyes.
came from the Seven Sisters, and they came down and they talked.
Oh my God. Okay. You guys, my hair is down to my knees, and there's been a lot of people who have thought that I was part of the Seven Sisters. The Seven Sisters is also the Pleiades galaxy system, which is where I took us. Let's digest that one for a second.
Taught Aborigines how to live. They taught them about amethyst stones for healing, all these kinds of things they were learning from these beings that they saw as visiting us.
When you take a look at cave paint.
So when humans were made, which I believe Prometheus did that, not me. When humankind was made, we did have to explain to them about how to do things, okay? And even the Native Americans will talk about this as well, as like they were given a language and it was supposed to be sacred. It sounds very familiar to the language that comes out of me a lot. All of these things are full circle moments. It's all making sense if we're paying attention, okay? Like pay attention, please.
Paintings, at early paintings, at paintings from different cultures. If you look hard enough, you're going to see what looks like UFOs or aliens or something like that in them. The evidence for them actually being UFOs or aliens is zero. And we will never have the evidence for it one way or the other unless our little friends tell us.
If we were to see something inexplicable today, we could write about it, we could report it. There are websites. Go back 500 years, go back 1,000 years. You see something that's inexplicable and you don't have writing, most of the cultures didn't. So how would they process that experience? Well, they would talk about it to each other. It would become part of their oral history. And so what happens is over centuries, you've got all of these oral traditions that exist. We don't have a time machine that's going to take us back to see exactly what was going on there. So really all that we have are these stories.
And they've all
some
gotten mucked up,
artifacts and
okay?
And everybody has a different.
I find this interesting because Spirit was like Book of Revelations, and then like all of this stuff came through me recently, and now here we are.
Over extraterrestrials, what they're
Right to fair use, right to fair use.
doing, and why they're doing what they are doing.
Philosopher Bertrand Russell wrote a book called Religion and Science. He said, look, so scientific thinker is always thinking provisionally. They're not thinking in terms of absolutes. Now, scientists are human beings just like everyone else, and they sometimes slip up and they can become absolutists. But science itself is all.
I will tell you, it's all quantum physics, and we do have a little ways to go. I've talked about that because I'll stand in the center of time where it's like the creation of all time, and I can literally see it like a 3D image. Guys, my head is not good, but it's like it's quantum physics, way advanced than what we're used to, but we will waken up to that more and more because we're going into 7D.
Always filled with one provisional hypothesis and theory after another. And hypotheses and theories can be revised.
I have learned that I can't be static in a position that I take because I don't know what's around the corner.
So I feel like the DM is kind of killing me. Like, I don't feel good. I hope he steps up soon, you guys, because we shouldn't be separated. We energetically combined over 2 years ago.
Tomorrow that I might hear more information that completely changes what I believe today. Some people can't do that. They don't want to do it. They make a choice to stay put. And I think when somebody is in fear themselves, then everything they're going to see is going to be a fear-based perspective.
Can I get an amen? So there's a lot of fear. Fear is not of God, okay? And that's why when they depict Sekhmet covered in blood, it's like, you motherfuckers, you know, you're putting fear into this. That's not what it's about. Anybody that's of the light, anybody that can see, really doesn't have much to worry about. If you've been doing things outside of the light, that's why they call repent, right? It's just cleaning it. It's not like you go, oh, I repent, or heal it, clear your karma, heal your shadow. We've all got the shadow to heal. I had to heal one. You all have a shadow to heal in the collective soul, not just layers of the individual. We don't have time for that. That's why I did the course that I did. It'll take you right down to it, and then you better undo it. Okay. This is real, but there should be no fear. And Jesus never died on no damn cross. Okay. He was poisoned by bread and wine from John the Apostle. It took him about 20 minutes to bleed out. Then they had Mary Magdalene gather his blood in a cup. And then they wrote a contract they called the Holy Grail in his blood to take control of all of you and to give this earth to beings that were not of God. That is the apocalypse of John. That is what we are undoing. And that is what I'm trying to tell you guys how to navigate through. I love these full circle moments for me. It makes so much sense.
I think you have to be aware first that you've been programmed into a limited mindset.
Yes,
So as
condition.
soon as you become aware of that, then you start to expand anyway, because you're not allowing that to be your reality. You're saying, I believe I'm something greater than this, so I can achieve something greater than this.
You can
And I don't like it when people were constantly calling them the sheeple. It's like, that hurts. Don't put people down.
play the game, what if aliens, what if this, what if that? But at the end of the day, how do you know that you're not being deceived on every level? How do you know? How can you know?
There's one very important point of agreement here, which is that these beings are doing something in an attempt to transform us.
Integration before takeover. You hear that? That's what
There's
they've been
some
trying to
people
do. That's also what the V was doing, was cutting you all off from God.
believe that extraterrestrials are here to replace us.
Yes.
And that they're doing it in a very methodical way.
And if you think the V was the only way, look at GMOs. They're genetically modified, your food, everything. And that's where we started developmentally having issues like autism. I know this because I had to see this. Spirit showed me this, and I did the research and it matched everything Spirit showed me, which is also ironic because I was in the psychology and behavioral field and worked with autism before I had my awakening. Everything in your past is relevant. Okay. It really, truly is. You guys, we need to wake up. We need to see what is happening. It is time. God is asking for people to take their power back now. And it is super time to protect your kids, because the work that we just undid, it's time. Something big is on its way. So if we can't wake up, if we can't heal, if we can't come together under love and light and unity of the one, some of us are going to be in trouble. And this is not about fear, because fear is not of God. Okay. Please take out the bloodshed. Am I coming to cause destruction? You better damn believe it. And it's already happening. Since I started these last pyramid activations, how many people have died? Time to wake up, my friends. Okay. And another really cool thing I'm going to show you guys just really, really fast before I end this video is I do have other accounts. Okay. I put my healing music here, and now I have my shining light here. There's something relevant in that. Okay. It's not like there's something really cool, and it's all very relevant. What is going on here? Stop it. I switched channels and they took me to the same thing. That's not what I want. I'm going to show you, because this is very relevant.
You really
okay.
have to ask.
It's very relevant. It's all related. What a tangled web we weave. Missing persons and unsolved cases. Okay. Jamie Foxx, he keeps popping into play. What I've said on there, which the Spirit told me to do a video a while ago on him. So I did. Okay. It was a month ago. Spirit's like, you better do it now. This was when something first happened to him. Then you can watch all this shit unfold. And now they're admitting he's either blind or paralyzed or dead. It's all very relevant. So the shining light into the darkness is actually me rising all of it out of the collective soul. It's all part of the darkness I've been clearing. So honestly, I'm very proud of these videos, and I was judged on these videos, but you better believe I'm not going anywhere. Okay. It is time we wake up. This is so very important and relevant. And I hope you all have a great day. Take your power back and know where your kids are. Until next time.